Hello and welcome to Football Manager 2024. This is going to be a full save this time. We're going to do the whole season of Port Vale starting from part 1. But the first thing I really want to show you is looking in the league table while the game loads. We know they've just signed a new manager down at Port Vale, give them a 5.5-year contract, and you can see where they are in the league. Even though they've got a couple of games in hand, they're looking very, very dodgy whether they're going to stay up or not. I do think they're down to League 2, but we'll see what we can do with them. So let's go on and start from the very beginning. Going to League 1. And looking at the Port Vale there. We'll just take control. Now remember the managerial style here. Suggest badge based on Port Vale and suggest experience based on Port Vale. No Pep Guardiolas or Jurgen Klopps. Make sure that if you're going to play along, you tick the right manager for the right job. Normally I play conference games, National League North and South, but let's move up to a different challenge this time so you can see the points for the players will be different as well. So I'm just going to save the game as Port Vale. I like to save this at the very start of the game. Then we won't be saving it until we go on our rounds of buying players. Let's see where they expect us to finish. Avoid relegation from League 1. I don't really care about where the EFL Trophy, FA Cup or Carabao Cup. So it's just about avoiding relegation. Never worry about an early friendly against the Inter squad that is pointless. Right, so that takes us into the club itself. So what we're going to do next is load our template. Okay, so where we're going to start is the budgets. Into finances. And we can see there that the wage budget is 65,360. Which tells us we've got about £5,000 to spend on single positions, and positions like the central defenders, central midfielders and the strikers will allow us double, so we'll have 10,000 to spend in those positions. So the first thing you need to do on the spreadsheet is to fill in down the bottom the points for the goalkeepers. And we are in League 1. So underneath us will be League 2, and above us will be the Championship. And the reason I do this is in case we've got any players that are not good enough for our league or better than what we've got, then it'll give us an idea. So we go into the player stats, and we'll start off with goalkeepers, which is on the left-hand side here. And because we've started from the championship, we just want to take this number here, 412, and we'll drop it in the top box. 412, enter, and then the rest of them come in. So this is the player rating. This is when we add all his points together, what they will hopefully come up to. But in League One, they've asked us to avoid relegation. So we go to this point here where it says avoid above there. And League One is the middle league. So a goalkeeper that we will want to have in our squad playing will need to be around 373 points for this level. Now I'm just going to fill the reputation in at the end. So we'll just go back to stats. And we can see there that the championship is 3 points, reputation, 2.5 stars if you like for League 1 and 2 stars for League 2. So I'll just fill that in for now. Now remember, the further you go up the pyramid, the more players you're going to have, the longer it's going to take before you can set your squad up. Now also here, the wage budget in orange is the figure that matches where it says goalkeeper. So 5051 will be the amount to spend. So that's that page completed for now. Now I'm going to copy and paste that into DL, but the points will slightly change because everybody that plays outfield have got slightly different points because there are 36 attributes for players and 35 attributes for goalkeepers. So players should slightly have a better rating, only slightly. So as we go into the stats here, you'll see when we go back to the goalkeeper there, he was 412 for top of the championship. Where if there was a player at the top of the championship, he would be on 424, so 12 points more. So as we change this here, we will now put 424 in that top box again. And this will tell us that a player for our team would need to be around 383, so around 10 points higher than the goalkeeper. And the wage budget there will be the same because we're only looking for one left defender that will play at any one time. So that will be the same. So we can copy and paste this into our DC, our DR, our ML, MC, MR, and ST. Now what I forgot to tell you is that I will be playing a 4-4-2. So the WBL as in wing backs and the DM as in the defensive midfielders, I won't be playing in my squad. And that also goes for the attacking players, left, central and right. So I normally move them down the other end, but of course you can delete them or do as you feel. So just going back into the positions, we've got the goalkeeper done down here, plus the wage budget to the right. The DL we've done the same. Now the DR will be the same as well because there'll only be one position to fill. Then ML will also be the same. The MR will also be the same. And the three positions that we've left now are central defenders, central midfielders, and strikers. And going back to the budget, you can see there that because you need two of these players playing at any one time, we will need £10,101 budget for all three of those. So I'll just fill in both of these. And that's the best thing to do, is to fill your sheet in before you start. This number will be the same for every outfield player that we look for, 383 points. And the goalkeeper, as I said, slightly less because of the amount of attributes that we add up. That will bring that down to 373. So we have the budgets all in front of you there. If you're going to play a 4-3-3, you can just change these to the players that you need. As long as they add up, as you can see down here, to 11, because that's how many you've got that are going to start. So let's go into the squad for Port Vale. As I said, these squads are going to be slightly bigger than what you would get in the Conference North and South, so this will actually take us longer to do. If I right click here, you will see at the top we have 43 members, well, not staff, but players. We've got 43 on our books, and that includes, if you can see there, that I did tick the under 18s. The players that are in blue are on loan from other clubs, so there's nothing we can do about those. And the one, well, just got one there, the one in purple means that they're out on loan to another club from ours. And the injury here, if you just hover over it, he's out to 3 to 4 months. So he'll be no interest of ours whatsoever. So I'm just going to put these in order of position. And what we're going to work out first will be the goalkeepers. So we're going to start with Connor Ripley, who is 30 years of age. So we go into the goalkeeper tab. Now, the top two here, that if you've got two to fill in there, these need to be your senior players of 21 years and above. Underneath here, you've got your under 21s, which need to be 18, 19 or 20 years of age, and the under 18s need to be 15, 16 or 17. So if you've got 3 senior goalkeepers and one of them isn't able to fit there because it's the lowest point goalkeeper, then he cannot drop into the under 21 squad because he's too old, and he can't drop into the under 18s. So that's how you bring that player down to here to either loan out or sell. But we're going to go through these goalkeepers and we'll see how it pans out. So Connor Ripley is going to be our first one. And he will start off as a senior player because he's 30 years of age. Now, the next column says POT, which is potential. Now, potential on 30 will be 0. I'll just quickly show. If you go into the colour chart here, it's a bit all over the shop, but Anybody who's 25 and above will not get any potential whatsoever. And then you can see the ages here from 24 go down to 14. In the UK, we go down to 15. You may see teams, Italy or even around the world, that may have 14. So coming down to the 24-year-old, as he's got 1 year before he's 25, I averagely give them 9 points potential per season. So if we went back to 20, he's got 5 years till he reaches 25, times 9 points for 5 years is 45. And that's what the potential figure would be. It doesn't mean that the player is going to get to that, but it means it's an average. So back into the goalkeepers. We've seen he's 30 years of age, no potential. And the next thing I want to look at will be his contract. Now the contract under here runs to the end of June 2025, which we'll put there. And next to that will be his wage. And of course, it's been a long, long time since I've seen any wages like this, especially when you're down in, the National League North and South, where you could get people playing for around £50 a week. This is a bit of a jump. Right, working back to the left of his name here, NAT is the next column, which is nationality. So we just write the first 3 letters is English. And we know that his natural position, and normally for a goalkeeper, they're only going to play one position, and it's natural goalkeeper. So for the natural colours, I put in a light green, and I also put that light green in the natural column. And the next thing we do is add up the 3 columns of attributes to get the player rating. Now, as I say, we're looking for 373. I'm not saying this goalkeeper's going to get anywhere near it. So I'll just add up quickly in my head here. So that first column is 133. Then we work out the mental column. And that comes to 150. And the third column comes to 81. So he comes to 364. If you followed my spreadsheets over a long period, you'll know that these figures are very, very close to what you need to be. So 364, pretty much he could be playing for a team at the top of League 2. Right? But for where we are in League 1 and expected to finish, at the moment, we're going to keep him. Let's have a look at our second goalkeeper. And again, 34 years of age. So we know there's not going to be any potential on this. And he will have to go as a senior player. And the name of Jason Lutweiler. Is it pronounced like that? And it's Canadian, so we just put the first 3 initials there. And yet again, we'll highlight him in green in the natural column and in his position. Now back to his contract. That runs out at the end of the current season. And his wages is £800 a week. Now you can see we've got 2,000 for Conor Riley, now we've got 800. You just go down and down the screen there in the same column. You'll see at the bottom, so far with those two goalkeepers, we've spent 2,800 on player wages or goalkeeper wages. And because in the orange box background there on 5,051 start-off point from the weekly wage budget, we now have left in green 2,251. So we're within the wage budget as it stands. And we'll go, these last two goalkeepers, you can see from hovering over the left there that they're youth contracted, so I'm presuming they're going to be 15, 16 or 17. The first one we're looking at there is Aaron Davis. Aaron Davies. He's English. He's 17 years of age, and this is where we bring in, he's got 8 years to go before he reaches 25. So 8 times the 9 is 72. So if I just quickly go into that tab there to show you, 17 equals 72 points. So you'll never forget, it's always there for you. And his contract also runs out at the end of 2024. And he's on £220 per week. We'll also see here that he's natural as a goalkeeper. So we've got the natural column in green and the position of GK in green, and now we add the points. So the first column will be 76. What you'll notice about very young players, or all players, they start with low figures and they build their way up. So this is why I do a potential to see if they can actually catch the top goalkeeper eventually, or whether they're not going to make it at all and we know to get rid of them. Let's add up the second column, the mental column. And that comes to 89. And the physicals comes to 56. So we can see that adds up to 221. There's only 17. And his maximum, even if he gets his potential, would only bring him up to 293, which is way, way off 373. So he would never make this team. And we're going to add up now the last goalkeeper points, and this is Dom Brook. Now, Dom Brook is Irish. Yet again, they only play one natural position. And his contract is for 16 years of age, which is 81 potential points. And his contract runs out at the end of the 2024 season, and his wages are £220. And we'll start with adding up the goalkeeping points. which comes to 81. And the second column comes to 92. And the third column comes to 51. So again, even with his point tally added, would only come to 305 with potential. One thing I forgot to do here was that other goalkeeper. I didn't add his points up. Right, so let's go back to Jason Vale. Let's add his points. And his first column comes to 127. The second column comes to 110. And the third column, 91. So you can see his points are 328, which is not even good enough for League 2, so he will be maybe a National League goalkeeper. And none of these four are that great, and Connor Ripley would definitely have to be your #1 goalkeeper if you didn't find anyone to replace these. Right, we've still got 2 columns at the end to add. So we're going to start, I'll start with the worst one, which I just need to put these in order. And that's from column V. Always column V for where the players are in green for natural. Right, so our worst goalkeeper there is on 221 points and age 17. So we come down to the bottom to the player value tab. We've got 2 columns here to use. And at the moment we're doing goalkeepers. So we'll use the left-hand column. So 221 points there. 15 years of age is our first one we start with. So 16 is the next column, 17 is the next column. So 1484. This tells me if this goalkeeper was to be for sale and someone wanted to buy him, you can get rid of them for nothing. But the maximum would be 1484, so around 1500. And I don't know if you saw in the next column a number automatically appeared. That tells me how much his estimated wage should be. So we have him down for £5 a week, just like it is in the National League North and South. And the wages he's on is 220. So I'm just going to put that in pink to tell me that he's being overpaid. Now the next one we're going to work out is our other youth player, 224 points and 16 years of age. So back down the left-hand column, 224, 15, 16, and that tells me he's worth 2,390. And again, as I return there, that will tell me he should be on £8 a week. And as we can see, he's on their minimum wage, because when you get into professional clubs, these youth players will earn more money. And then working up to our second best goalkeeper, Jason Vale there. He's on 328 points and the age of 34. It's 328, but now we've got to keep going here. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So that tells me he's worth roughly £50,000. And when I return that onto the right hand side, it should tell me the estimated wages of 167, and he's on 800. So another one, that's all three we've done so far that are getting overpaid to their ability. And now we're going to do Connor Ripley, 364, 30 years of age. So we go down 364, there it is, and now 30, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 460, 490. This would tell me how much I think is worth. And over 450,000, we'll return that. And his wages should be 1535, and they are on 2,000, which is too much. So all four goalkeepers at some point will need replacing. We're spending, if you see in that column underneath their wages, we're spending 3,240 out of a possible 5,051, and the figure in green leaves us £1,811 to spend on goalkeepers. So we could just about get away with Connor Ripley, but we desperately need to find goalkeepers. So that's the first part I'm going to show you tonight. As I said to you, if there would have been a third senior goalkeeper, the one with the lowest points would go down for sale or loan. But what you need in every team is to make sure that you have three goalkeepers. So our three would be Connor Ripley, Jason Vale, and Dom Brook. But because your fourth goalkeeper is in the youth team, if he was 16 years of age, you would have to keep him in the youth team. But what we're going to do with him, as we don't need him at all, he will be for loan. So I'm just going to highlight that. But we'll do all that together once we've done all the players' points. So that will be in a few episodes. Alright, but this player will be loaned out, and we will try to get this figure of £220 back from a club that wants to loan him. We will try to sell him. He'll most likely have to go on a free. But you only ever need three goalkeepers at the club. Right, so that's as far as we've done tonight. When we come back in the next episode, we will do the left defenders, the central defenders, and the right defenders. And let's have a look at how many roughly there's going to be. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, around 16 we will do in the next episode, so we can slowly move forward to the midfielders and the strikers. We'll do them last. So back to the finances, you can see there that we've got 65,360. That's the first thing you've got to do. And then when you go on the club vision, you'll see avoid relegation from League One. Well, that's the most important thing. And then when you come into here, remember how I've done the points for the goalkeeper, slightly different from the rest of the team. And when you know you're in League One, you put this, make sure them points are centre, because you can get relegated, you can get promoted. So I always put your league in the middle, and where the club vision is, you go down, put a purple box, and that tells us the figure that we need the goalkeeper to be on. So will Connor Ripley keep us in the division? It's possible. It's possible, because he is good enough really to bring a team up from League Two. But once we start looking for players, then we'll know if we can challenge that 364 or not. But that's going to be it for this evening. So, as I say, the next time you see me in the second episode, we will be doing the left defenders, the central defenders, and the right defenders. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.